Hail Internet, it's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here talking about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Season 1, Episode 8, Ribbit and Ribbit. We open with, we'll call him pseudo-hero, Leapfrog, the guy whose tagline is the title of this episode. That's a fun tagline, I like it.
Yeah, it works.
Trying to stop a robbery. When his rocket boots catch fire, causing serious burns to his legs.
Yes.
Thus, the origin of the episode's lawsuit. We end with She-Hulk getting arrested by the Department of Damage Control after going into a rage during a gala, which we'll talk about. Paul?
Yes.
What did you think of episode 8?
Yeah, I liked it. And it's the thing that I was anticipating, or at least wanting to see since the beginning, and realizing they were really going to make for wait to get Daredevil and Matt Murdock especially, because one thing I didn't anticipate was that they were going to spend more money on Daredevil than they ever did on his Netflix show, so he could jump around and do all sorts of stuff that he does more in the comics. But
more nimble.
Yeah, that was that we didn't see that in the show, in the Netflix Daredevil show, so that was good to see. And I liked Matt Murdock, as how he was in the trial, and then his interactions with Jen. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So we got Charlie Cox back as Matt Murdock, and and it wasn't just a cameo. He was in it for the majority of the episode.
Yes.
It was. All things considered, this was probably the best episode of She-Hulk.
Oh, okay.
I would say.
Interesting.
As we guessed, Daredevil kind of becomes a romantic interest for She-Hulk. Sure. That seemed like that was probably going to be a thing. It's a thing. Whether that continues or not.
This strange sort of thing about a number of her. She only had one person that I've seen after she had a night of passion stick around afterwards. We didn't see Matt or Josh during her morning. Now Josh is understandable. I mean, that we not see him in the morning. Yeah. But Matt, wow, Matt.
In that it's not understandable. But yeah.
No, I guess, we saw him leave, right? But we didn't actually see...
No, yeah, we saw they did the switcheroo with the guy doing the walk of shame.
And why would he need to take off his boots for that? I don't understand that.
I know!
It must be some woman thing where you don't want to walk in your heels or something.
Right. Correct.
So it's
but
interesting. So the women are on the floor, and the men were like, "Why would he do that?
Why isn't he just wearing it makes the bit. I have to walk without the boots. Okay. I did they did the comedic beat of they gave an homage. They set up the hall fight, like the Netflix Daredevil, and then She-Hulk basically ends it.
Oh.
Before it begins. Boom. So anyway, if you haven't seen the Daredevil season 1 hall fight, I mean, who am I kidding? You've all seen the Daredevil. Everybody watching this has seen the Daredevil season 1 hallway fight.
Yes.
It holds up.
Yes.
Say that.
Speak out if you haven't.
Yeah. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Hallway.
Oh, I thank you for suggesting it. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go check that out. You were right. I also like that. He's got a mask. He talks about he's keeping a secret identity, unlike She-Hulk.
Yes.
And yet, Leapfrog easily guesses who he is. In the middle of the fight, he's like, "Oh yeah, you're the lawyer from the other day."
Oh, did he? I think he's saying, Are you a lawyer?
Devil Ninja guy. He's a lawyer?
Oh, okay. I thought he was. My interpretation of that scene was,
I know, and that's
the guy.
I'm sure there are people who are watching who are like, Daredevil would never do that. Who saw because he never did give legal advice when he was in that series.
Yeah. No, legal advice
he never
while he's wearing the mask. Yeah.
I guess you could argue that he was showing off for Jen there.
I'd angle this more as a form of dramatic expression due to undiagnosed PTSD.
Yeah, it just made me think, like, how secret is his identity, I guess.
Right.
Because similarly, they did another joke about that premise with the lily pad, right? So it was like, this is my secret hideout. And there's giant neon sign. They even made a set piece where they're sitting by it. So they're kind of making the joke of like, no one's got a secret identity. But yeah, anyway, so I don't think she's in terrible trouble. Obviously, the amount of property damage she did was, it wasn't that big a deal per se. I don't think the building's going to come down. But yeah, so she'll have a run-in with the law. Maybe Matt will be her attorney. Maybe he'll stay around and defend her.
That's an interesting idea.
You know?
I mean, I kind of feel like they're setting you up for Mallory doing that. You know, the way she was like trying to calm Jessica down. You know, I think she'll be on her side. I'd be surprised if she wasn't.
She was also getting the same award.
Yeah. So she was there, and I think so. The fact that she was like trying to, calm her down as opposed to just sort of like.
And we had the creepy rich guy that we've been seeing all throughout the show was at the event, and he's almost certainly connected.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, the intelligentsia will rear its ugly head, maybe for more than just like a minute at a time. This time it's gonna be like, all right, an episode where we dwell on them a bit.
Yeah, and then the question will be, is this the first season or is this the end of the series, right? Because I don't think it's been renewed yet.
Right. No, that's a good question. Right. It's just like
and typically they wait after the season's over, but I would like to see more of it. Even though, as I've said, I like them to put more effort into, improving it.
Yeah.
And even this episode, while I liked it, I thought the episode could be improved. We talked about it off camera, but while the idea for this for the Frogger and everything, I think that's a good comedy. They got some comedy out of it, but the courtroom aspect of it, I mean, I think even if people can make bad arguments, and they do in court, they don't have to be a surprise. It's like, no, okay, we're trying to, like his stupid argument about I used the wrong thing. They could have had both sides aware of that in trial and still be arguing about it.
Right, yeah. It's like they do like a wink and a nod to the legal side of it. The legal side of it is just like it's almost like it's in their way. So they kind of have to like, okay, hey, we wrapped it up. Oh, Matt Murdock smelled the jet fuel and we did it. And like, okay. It almost seems like a why bother type of thing. So yeah, it is not top tier MCU Disney Plus whatever show, but I do feel like there is a show there, as you say. I think it could be improved on, and there could be a better version of this that would be a very watchable season 2 potentially. So that said, okay, so have we finished our She-Hulk chat? Because I've got a thing that's not a video. Okay, because it's somewhat related. It's about a legal show. So there you go. All right. So if you've been watching specifically for She-Hulk, thank you. You're awesome. Appreciate you watching. This next section is probably not. It's only very tangentially related to She-Hulk. So thank you. But otherwise, it's a little theory time for you on a different show. Okay, so. From White Jackie and I, we go through different shows as like suitable background viewing, material. It's like you can't be too distracting, and you can engage it if you want, or you could go back to, say, editing YouTube videos. Not that I'm doing that all the time, but okay. Anyway, and so our current background show of choice is the old black and white Perry Mason, another legal show.
Oh, okay.
All right. Another legal show. It's a bit of a fantasy as well in the legal world.
Sure, yeah.
But it's a legal show. It's a fine show. We Perry Mason, Della Street, Paul Drake. My wife pointed out the prosecutor's name is Hamilton Burger, a la hamburger. But anyway, no one calls him hamburger. Come on. But there is a disturbing trend in the show.
Does he got a wife named Patty?
Exactly. Come on, I relish our time together. Almost all episodes, most episodes that we've watched anyway.
It's like, has someone run the mustard yet?
That's right. Jackie had one that's like, well, it's too late to catch up. All right, anyway. So most episodes involve someone coming to Perry Mason with a seemingly innocuous matter. Hey, handle my taxes. Oh, can you handle my copyright? And then within hours, they are wrongly accused of murder. And that happens over and over again. This is not like a one-off or, one every 10 episodes. No, this is like, I'd say 2 out of every 3. That's as far as what we've seen is person comes to not to be a criminal defendant, but just to be like, hey, I've got this thing and can you do this thing? And then hours later, I'm wrongly accused of murder. Perry Mason, please get me out of life sentence. So, I mean, it's an insane percentage of the clients that are wrongly accused of murder. It would boggle the mind if it was a coincidence. I mean, the odds are astronomical.
Sure.
So that leads to a theory, Paul.
Oh, all right.
Perry Mason is TV's most prolific serial killer. You forget Dexter. This guy, I mean,
right?
He uses Paul, not you, Paul. Maybe you're Paul Drake.
Yes, maybe. So
Paul's the investigator. Paul goes out, investigates the background of his client.
Yeah.
Finds out where their kind of weak points are, who they have a grudge with. Then Jackie's theory is that it's Della goes out and does the wet work. And then when the client has nowhere to turn, Perry Mason swoops in for a fee, and he proves their innocence. Why is he always sure they didn't do it?
Why?
Because he did it.
Oh.
He did it.
Okay.
So he is essentially a legal supervillain. And here's where it might come back around to She-Hulk. Perfect nemesis for She-Hulk. Here's this guy who's like posing as like, I'm just a really good defense attorney, actually killing off people so he can get cash in legal fees. It's a devious guy. There you go. Okay. Perry Mason.
Wow. Okay.
Legal supervillain.
That's interesting. Okay.
It's just so weird. I mean, it's just funny how, I guess I always thought that, because I knew about Perry Mason, but I hadn't really watched it in depth until recently. But I just assumed people have been wrongly accused and they come to Perry because he's a famous attorney and he defends them.
Yes.
But no. These people come to him for completely other reasons and then in a very short window of time get wrongly accused of murder. It's like, how many times does this happen where you're just like, oh my God, trust me, don't go home. Just stay here in this office because someone is dead in your apartment right now and it's just better if you stay here. Just trust me. Anyway, unless he did it. Okay, anyway, so anyway, I know that was just a flight of fancy. Thank you for indulging me on that.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah,
legal shows, they're all
like I was
alike.
Suppressing my brain. It's like, okay, the ways in which it probably isn't, and most definitely isn't.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. So anyway,
and that
we'll be back talking about
show.
Perry Mason. Okay, no. Season 6, episode 13. Okay, no. We'll be back talking about the season finale, maybe series finale, of She-Hulk. We're also going to be talking about Rings of Power. We're going to be talking about House of the Dragon. And then we've had a lot of calls to do Andor. We were planning on doing it anyway. It's just we kind of had this glut of shows.
Yeah.
So as soon as we get done here with Rings of Power and She-Hulk, we will leap over about mid-season or so. We'll catch up with Andor and then start doing one-off episodes about the season of Andor, which a lot of people really like. I've seen a few episodes. I've enjoyed it so far, so we'll talk about that.
Great.
I think that's it, good sir.
Yes, it is.
Awesome. All right. Thank you as always, Paul.
Oh,
appreciate it, good sir.
No problem.
And we'll talk to everybody next time.
Bye.
Bye.